Alrighty, so recap Asia London, bit of early New York session as well. Probably we'll go over that as well. But Asia, of course, Monday was a public holiday in the States and the UK, so not much really happens. Market closes early. I don't know why it's opened on a Monday when there's a public holiday, but futures are open. Not much happened, of course. If I go through all the time frames, of course, we're bullish on pretty much everything, up from the daily to the 1 hour to the 4 hour. Um, so again, I would go into this session being mostly bullish. Let's recap. Price opens in a premium of this range that we've just come up to. We do have 4 hour fair value sitting lower. Um, Kind of already retouched into it though, so we have no certainties if price wants to reprice down. At the moment though, we are mostly bullish to open, so I didn't get into this session until at least a good hour into the session. That's when I arrived at work and I had a good chance to look at a chart. So when I was coming through this, it was very choppy, like not much is happening. It's a public holiday in the States, Monday night. So it's quite a slow market. I didn't really see anything that was clean or that made sense. I was like maybe expecting Asia Open, which is 8 o'clock macro in the States, to maybe get some liquidity coming into, but not much happened. This was the first thing I saw. It didn't happen during a macro time. I'd say these macros are where you're going to get the best setups, essentially the most high liquid entries as well. And what you had there is you had a really nice long inverse fair value gap after taking a pretty much a relative equal low, and then of course you had the macro which started the expansion higher, um, and that was probably one of the best longs considering the fact that you also broke the 5 moving average. But then what do you have here? Price essentially just came into the 9 p.m. macro inverse fair value gap, changed the state in delivery as well, um, and it lost the 520 SMA on the 5 minute, which is a very bearish sign. And this, what it did is it started to reprice lower. But realistically, didn't have any intentions for going lower. I'd say probably this short here just makes this short here is actually pretty good. It's actually a really nice short. You have all these relative equal lows in 4 hour fair value to kind of aim for. Plus your R&R is not too bad. I believe it was almost a good 1.5 R, a good 1-to-1 ratio, a bit more, 1.5. So it's not such a bad trade. I wasn't really looking for that. I was looking for the bullish setups. So price trickles along, of course. Essentially in the overnight session, almost midnight in the States, not much really happens. It came into 2 a.m. though. 2 a.m. You had this really nice kind of really nice 2 a.m. session or 2 a.m. trade here within the macro. You've delivering in 4 hour fair value gap. You have a 1 hour inverse fair value gap plus. Even though your 1 hour is bearish there, you're already bullish on the high time frame plus the 5 minute broke. This here was a great setup, and I was at work, and I had a good chance to look for an entry here. This is essentially the kind of the early manipulation phase at the back end of Asia, which pretty much called for a displacement move higher. And this here was a great trade, and I just didn't do it. I don't know why. I usually get that in these moments where sometimes I'll be at work, there's a good trade, and I kind of just try to, even if I have time, try to avoid it just because I just don't like it. And it's a fantastic trade, and I'm kind of kicking myself because it just set up for a really expansion like London session. Pretty much London was just pure expansion until we took sell side liquidity on essentially in the 4 a.m. macro during London. Fantastic trade. You did have maybe some order block setups on the 5 minute with pretty much a hold of 20 SMA, but your hourly setup here is perfect. It's a perfect setup. I kind of am kicking myself for not taking this. There's at least 100 points in this from Nasdaq, so it's a great trade. So pretty much London was just pure expansion higher. Midnight was the manipulation for higher prices. You had an hourly inverse fair value gap on the higher time frames, which was it, which was a very good entry, and London just expanded higher. 4am macro it was just at the high, pretty much that caught the end of the trend higher. And of course, originally Asia was just very choppy, and it was just a reprice down for higher prices, which met the higher time frame order flow, or kind of the draw. So yeah, going into pretty much what's happening now. Again, still more bullish, possibly makes sense for price to just keep on generating liquidity on the higher time frame, but you are delivering in higher time fair value and you are bullish, though kind of your main targets are taken, so I kind of want to be a bit patient here. First session into the week, there's no rush to do anything. I am a bit frustrated. Usually I like to talk about the best version of myself, and the best version of myself would have taken that regardless of the time, regardless if he's at work. So I have some things to think about. Thanks for watching. See you there.